seeking to have the National Police Service, in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, to scale up public awareness initiatives. This is in rural areas on the application and renewal process for the good conduct. This motion has a balance of about 3 hours, very fresh for debate, as only 10 minutes had been dispensed with when the House commenced debate on the motion that is seeking to streamline the issuance of the certificate of good conduct in the country. If you're just joining us, the business of the Senate will be commencing any moment from now. A number of senators are already in the chambers this afternoon, so we are waiting for the Speaker's procession that is usually announced by the sergeant-at-arms to the members of the Senate, alerting them that the Speaker is steps away from the chamber and that the business will be commencing any moment. But as we await for that signal, the report of the Liaison Committee on the activities and operations of select committees during the third session of 2024 is lined up for debate this afternoon. This is a motion by the Chairperson, Liaison Committee, seeking to have the Senate note the report of the committee on its activities and operations during the third session. And this is sponsored to Standing Orders number 22, subsection 2, Standing Orders 224, subsection 2. And the committee laid its report on the table of the House on the 28th day of May, the year being 2025. The Speaker is already in the House. Allow me to hand over for this live broadcast. Enjoy your viewing.
Na tuombe. Mwenyezi Mungu, tutakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka sisi watumishi wako ambao mmeridhika kutuita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Tutakuomba utuajalie tuyatende na kufikia mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Glad to have quorum. Sergeant-at-arms, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
The business of the Senate has commenced this afternoon with the Speaker of the House presiding over the business this afternoon at a time when the House is coming from recess, resuming business for the fourth session. We now have the quorum bell on ring mode. And this quorum bell is necessitated by lack of quorum upon the commencement of business this afternoon. As we await for that quorum to be attained, the Seeds and Plant Varieties Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 4 of the year 2025, is currently at the second reading. The Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 46 of the year 2023, by Senator Jones Maruma, is also lined up for debate. And other bills are also lined up for consideration this afternoon. Among them, the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 49 of the year 2023, the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotic Psychotropic Substances Control Amendment Bill, Bill number 1 of the year 2024 by Senator Kathuri Murongi. The Street Naming and Property Addressing System by Senator Fatuma Dulo, and the County Government State Officers Removal from Office Procedures Bill, Bill number 34 of the year 2024 by Senator Thangwa. On Standing Orders 52, subsection 1, Senator Wakwabuibi Consolata, a newly sworn-in senator, will be making a statement concerning Kenya's exemplary performance at the 2025 Berlin Marathon and World Athletics Championships in Tokyo in Japan. Under Standing Orders number 53, subsection 1, a number of senators are listed as senators who will be seeking to make statements. This afternoon, Senator Catherine Muma takes the lead, and she'll be seeking a statement from the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights regarding the eviction of 6 households from the old Ngara estate in Nairobi County. The other senator is Senator for Kilifi, Senator Stewart Madzayo, who will be seeking a statement from the Committee on Education in regards to poor infrastructure of schools in the county of Kilifi. Senator for Machakos, Senator Kavindu Agnes, will be seeking a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing regarding the interventions aimed at protecting road infrastructure within Syokimau area in Machakos County.
Proceed with the afternoon's business. Clerk, you may proceed to call the first order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Now, Honorable Senators, I take this opportunity to welcome you back from the recess. In accordance with the calendar of the Senate for the regular sittings, Part 5 begins today, Tuesday, the 23rd of September 2025, and will conclude at the rise of the Senate on the 9th of October 2025. Now, Honorable Senators, the past recess saw the Senate participate in the biannual devolution conference, which took place from the 12th to the 15th of August 2025 in Homa Bay County. The devolution conference brought together local and international delegates to learn and share best practices on the pertinent issues affecting the devolved system of government in Kenya. The event culminated in the signing of a communique which outlined actions that require to be taken with a view to ensuring the success of devolution. I take this opportunity to thank honorable senators for turning up and participating in this event. I also take this opportunity to urge the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations to interrogate the communique from the devolution conference and to develop the necessary legislative interventions to actualize them. By doing so, the Senate and Parliament at large will essentially be walking the talk. Now, honorable senators, looking at what portends for the coming days, Part 5 of the fourth session is certainly set to be a highlight of this session. As senators recall, on 29th of July 2025, the Senate resolved to hold its plenary and committee sittings in Busia County. The sittings will take place from the 6th to the 10th of October 2025, in line with the resolution passed at the Busia County Assembly premises. Preparations are now at an advanced stage to ensure that the sittings are a success. More information regarding the Busia sittings will be communicated through the Office of the Clerk. In addition, let us remain mindful of our in-tray, for it is rather full. A number of bills, motions, petitions, and statements are pending consideration. It is my hope that committees took time during the recess to dispense with the business pending before them. The Senate is looking forward to the tabling of the reports on the activities of the committees and reports thereon. On this matter of the Senate legislative agenda, I urge that all honorable senators redouble their individual and collective effort in a bid to process the business with the urgency it deserves. I also urge the Senate Majority Leader and the Senate Minority Leader to do all that is necessary within the standing orders so that the business is fast-tracked. Honorable Senators, in conclusion, my office remains at your disposal to assist you in discharging your constitutional responsibilities. I will continue to support each senator individually and in the committees that you serve to be able to achieve what we have set out during this term of Parliament. I thank you. Now, honorable senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, a visiting delegation of 4 officers from the Committee Reporting Office, CRO, or the Parliament of Ghana. The delegation is on a benchmarking engagement to share knowledge on the best practices with their counterparts at the Senate. Now, honorable senators, I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that they may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. Ms. Theresa Boasiako Korang, Mrs. Etonam Bamfko, Mr. Paul Salom Agbu, Mr. Ebenezer Arthur. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome and wish you a fruitful visit at the Senate. I will call upon the Senate Majority Leader to pass a word of welcome to the delegation.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. On behalf of my colleagues here in the House, I join you in welcoming this delegation from the Parliament of Ghana, a very respected member of the Commonwealth Parliaments, Mr. Speaker, that we exchange a lot of knowledge. Many times our staff also visit their country in search of good knowledge like they have done this time round. I do believe that during their stay, Mr. Speaker, they'll enjoy the Kenyan hospitality, get to learn, interact with our very competent staff, Mr. Speaker, and members as well. I want to believe that part of their visit includes work that is done in our committees where they'll meet some of these members that are in the House this afternoon. Given that these are our African colleagues and people from a friendly country, a country that we share common history and heritage, Mr. Speaker, I do hope that they'll stay long enough to meet as many members of this House as they can. I welcome them to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3, I received a message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the approval by the National Assembly of a nominee for appointment to the Board of Central Bank of Kenya. The message, dated Wednesday, 20th of August 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Monday, 25th of August 2025, while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently transmitted to every senator in accordance with Standing Order 46.5. Now, pursuant to the said Standing Order, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas in exercise of the powers conferred by the provisions of Section 11.2 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act, Cap 491, His Excellency the President nominated Mr. Pius Angasa for appointment as a member of the Board of Directors of Central Bank of Kenya and sought parliamentary approval of the nominee. And whereas on the 7th of August 2025, the Senate considered the report of the Joint Committee of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as a board member of the Central Bank of Kenya, and by resolution approved the appointment of Mr. Pius Angasa as a member of the Board of Central Bank of Kenya. Further, whereas by resolution passed on 12th of August 2025, the National Assembly also considered the joint report and approved the appointment of Mr. Pius Angasa as a member of the Board of Central Bank of Kenya. Now, therefore, in accordance to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision, the decision of the National Assembly to the Senate, and further notify that I have since transmitted the bicameral decision of the House to the appointing authority. Honorable Senators, I also wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3, I received a message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the approval by the National Assembly of the Senate Amendment to the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 40 of 2022. The message, dated Thursday, 14th of August 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Monday, 25th August 2025, while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently transmitted to every senator in accordance with Standing Order 46.5. Pursuant to the said Standing Order, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 and 148 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas on Wednesday, 20th of March 2024, the National Assembly passed the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 40 of 2022, with amendments, and thereafter referred the bill to the Senate for consideration in accordance with the provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution. And whereas on Tuesday, 15th of August 2025, the Senate considered and passed the said bill with an amendment and referred it back to the National Assembly for reconsideration in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution. Further, whereas on Thursday, 14th of August 2025, the National Assembly considered and passed the Senate amendment to the said bill in the form passed by the Senate. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(2)(a) of the Constitution and Standing Orders 41.1 and 148 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate. Now, Honorable Senators, the Speaker of the National Assembly, pursuant to the provisions of Article 112(2)(a) of the Constitution, is processing the bill for assent by His Excellency the President. Further, I wish to report to the Senate that I have, pursuant to Standing Order 46.3 and 46.5 of the Senate, received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the decision of the National Assembly on the Senate amendments to the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023. The message, dated Tuesday, 26th of August 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Wednesday, 27th of August 2025, while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently transmitted to every senator in accordance with Standing Order 46.5 via letter dated the 29th of August 2025. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 46.4, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 and 148B of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas on Tuesday, 4th of June 2024, the National Assembly passed the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023, and thereafter referred the bill to the Senate for consideration in accordance with Article 110.4 of the Constitution. And whereas on Tuesday, 15th of April 2025, the Senate considered and passed the said bill with amendments and referred it back to the National Assembly in accordance with the provisions of Article 112.1b of the Constitution. Further, whereas on Thursday, 24th of July 2025, the National Assembly negatived the motion on the consideration of the Senate amendments to the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023, thereby remitting it to a mediation committee in accordance with the provisions of Article 112.2b of the Constitution. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112 of the Constitution and Standing Orders 41.1 and 148b of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the decision of the National Assembly to the Senate and seek the appointment of 9 senators to a mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. Now, honorable senators, consequent to the said decision, the Speaker of the National Assembly appointed the following members of the National Assembly to the mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. The Honorable Peter Lochakapong, the Honorable Mary Emase, the Honorable Pamela Njoki, the Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga, the Honorable Kenneth Kazungu, the Honorable Umul Kher Kasim, the Honorable Anthony Aluoch, the Honorable Catherine Omayo, and the Honorable Joyce Bensouda. Honorable Senators, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 166.2 of the Senate, and in consultation with the Senate Majority Leader and the Senate Minority Leader, I will at an appropriate time appoint senators to the mediation committee. Further, honorable senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3 of the Senate Standing Orders, I received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the passage by the National Assembly of the Meteorology Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of 2023. The message, dated Tuesday, the 9th of August 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on 25th of August 2025 while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently transmitted to every senator in accordance with Standing Order 46.5. Now, pursuant to the said standing order, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 and 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas the Meteorology Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of 2023, was passed by the Senate on Tuesday, 19th of November 2024, with amendments, and referred to the National Assembly for consideration pursuant to provisions of Article 110.4 of the Constitution, and whereas the National Assembly considered the said bill and passed it on Wednesday, 13th August 2025, with amendments, as contained in the schedule of the amendments attached herewith, now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112.1b of the Constitution and Standing Order 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly. Honorable Senators, Article 112.1b of the Constitution provides that if one House passes an ordinary bill concerning counties and the second House passes the bill in an amended form, it shall be referred back in the originating House for reconsideration. Now, honorable senators, in this regard, I direct the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources to deliberate on the National Assembly amendments and report to the Senate. Further, pursuant to Standing Order 165.1 of the Senate Standing Orders, I direct that the National Assembly amendments to the Meteorology Bill, Senate Bill number 45 of 2023, be circulated to all senators. At an appointed time, the Senate Business Committee will schedule the consideration of the amendments. The House is accordingly guided. Lastly, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3 and 5 of the Senate Standing Orders, I received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the passage by the National Assembly of the Election Offences Amendment Number 2 Bill, Senate Bill Number 28 of 2024. The message, dated Tuesday, 19th of August 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on 25th of August 2025 while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently transmitted to every senator in accordance with Standing Order 46.5. Now, pursuant to the said Standing Order, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 and 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas the Election Offences Amendment Number 2 Bill, Senate Bills Number 28 of 2024, was passed by the Senate on Tuesday, 19th of November 2024, and thereafter referred to the National Assembly for consideration pursuant to the provisions of Article 110.4 of the Constitution, and whereas the National Assembly considered the said bill and passed it with amendments on Thursday, 14th of August 2025, as contained in the schedule of amendments attached herewith. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112.1b of the Constitution and Standing Orders 41.1 and 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate. Now, Honorable Senators, Article 112.1b of the Constitution provides that if one House passes an ordinary bill concerning counties and the second House passes the bill in an amended form, it shall be referred back to the originating House for reconsideration. Honorable Senators, in this regard, I direct the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights to deliberate on the National Assembly amendments and report to the Senate. Further, pursuant to Standing Order 165.1 of the Senate Standing Orders, I direct that the National Assembly amendments to the Election Offences Amendment Number 2 Bill, Senate Bill Number 28 of 2024, be circulated to all honorable senators. At an appointed time, the Senate Business Committee will schedule the consideration of these amendments. The House is accordingly guided. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Kindly take your seats. Senator Ledama and Minority Leader, kindly take your seats. Now, honorable senators, pursuant to Standing Order 232.1a, I hereby present a petition by Honorable Isayan Maina concerning amendments of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2017. As you are aware, Article 37 and 119(1) of the Constitution provide that every person has the right, peacefully and unarmed, to assemble, to demonstrate, to picket, and to present petitions to public authorities, and further, that every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within the authority, including to enact, amend, or repeal any legislation. The salient issues raised in this petition are as follows. A, that the petitioner, Honorable Isayan Maina, is a member of the County Assembly of Nandi, representing Lesos Ward, seeking the intervention of the Senate to amend the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 to better align the functioning of the county governments with the objects and principles of devolution as set out in the Constitution, specifically Articles 10, 174, 175, 179, 183, and 232, among others. Thus, Section 32E of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 empowers the governor to constitute a county executive committee portfolio structure, while Section 46 of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 grants the county executive committee CEC authority to determine the organization of the county and its departments. This creates ambiguity regarding the respective roles of the governor and the CC in the county administrative structure. The petitioner requests for an amendment to Section 32E and 46 of the County Governments Act, number 17 of 2012, to clarify the term organization of the county. Or alternatively, replace Section 32E of the County Governments Act, number 17 of 2012, with a provision establishing a uniform organizational structure for counties. Thus, Section 32(1) of the County Governments Act, number 17 of 2012, provides that the governor shall assign and cause to be published in the County Gazette notice of all important formal decisions by the governor or by the county executive. However, the Act lacks a clear definition of what constitutes important formal decisions. The petitioner requests for an amendment to Section 32(1) to include a definition for important formal decisions, set timelines for gazettement, require immutable timestamps, include county expenditure and electronic funds transfer EFT reports as formal decisions, and provide sanction for non-compliance. Thus, Section 33A of the County Governments Act, number 17 of 2012, holds the county governor accountable for managing county resources, but does not explicitly require accountability to county assembly, contrary to Article 183(3) of the Constitution. The petitioner requests for an amendment to Section 33A of the County Governments Act, number 17 of 2012, to establish a clear accountability mechanisms requiring the governor to be accountable to the county assembly. That pursuant to Section 31A of the County Governments Act, number 17 of 2012, a governor can dismiss CEC members without checks, undermining collective executive responsibility. The petitioner requests for an amendment to the section to require consultation and concurrence for at least 50% of the county assembly present and voting before dismissal of a CC member. That pursuant to Section 32(3) of the County Governments Act, number 17 of 2012, the governor may assign the deputy governor executive portfolios. This risks reducing the deputy governor to an ordinary CC member. The petitioner requests that Section 32(3) of the County Governments Act, number 17 of 2012, be amended to expressly exempt the DG from approval and removal processes intended for CEC members. That the appointment process for CEC members, as envisioned under Section 35 of the County Governments Act, lacks transparency and consistency in the sourcing, shortlisting, and nomination process. The petitioner requests for an amendment to Section 35 of the Act to include a clear, merit-based process for sourcing, shortlisting, nomination, and appointment of CC members. Section 45 lacks clarity on the qualifications for county chief officers and does not provide for the reassignment and removal procedures. The petitioner therefore